Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming to the stream. So, we're going to be learning several words about time. The first word I wanted to teach you is a very common one that you are going to use often. And that is the adverb often, which is 자주. Specifically, this means often doing the same thing, or often the same thing happens. Let me give you a sentence. Our friend 철수를 자주 만나요. So I meet 철수 often. Notice, adverbs in Korean are used immediately before the verb, or whatever the verb phrase is. Keep the adverb directly before the verb and don't use it after the verb. Don't say 철수를 만나요 자주. That sounds like you forgot to say it in the sentence. That's like saying, oh, I meet 철수 often. So use it before the verb. There are many more definitions for this word if you look in Korean, because this word in English, well, has so many uses in English. So if you look at the definition of 잘 in Korean, you'll see it has so many different meanings. But in English, we can just use this word. It can mean well, or it can mean skillfully, or it can also mean frequently, as in often. Depending on the context, though, you'll know which one it means. Although if you want it to be clear that you mean often and that you don't possibly mean one of these, use 자주. If you want to say someone does something well, as in they are well, as in without a problem. Are you doing well? That's like, are you doing okay? So no problems, sort of well. No difficulties. 영희는, so our friend 영희, 요리, cooking, 요리를 잘해요, is good at cooking. Literally, does well cooking. Note, 잘 is an adverb, and it goes directly before the verb here, 하다, to do. So the verb 요리하다, to cook, is actually 요리, cooking, plus 하다, to do. So the verb is actually not 요리하다, the verb is 하다. 영희는 요리를 잘해요. So 영희 is good at cooking. Next we have 방금 and 금방. It's the same thing, just with the words switched around. First, 방금 means just now. So you've just done something. Someone just went somewhere. Just now did something. 방금. You can think of this as meaning a moment ago from right now. However, 금방 means a moment later from right now. You can think of this as meaning like in a moment or soon. So we have a moment ago, and now we have just a moment later. The thing you need to know though about this is that officially 금방 is listed as a synonym for 방금, meaning you can also use 금방 to mean that someone just did something. But that's not how it gets used most of the time. So learn it this way, but know that you may sometimes see 금방 used with past tense, meaning that someone just did something. 방금 도착했어요. So 도착하다 is to arrive, so I just arrived. So you're going to see 방금 used with the past tense. 버스가 금방 올 거예요. 오다, to come. 올 거예요. Future tense, will come in a moment. The bus. 버스가 금방 올 거예요. The bus will come in a moment. The next word that we have is 당장. 당장 means right now or right away. Using 당장 emphasizes that something is right now. It's instead of just saying something now, you're saying right now. So it's more emphasis on the now. And if you say 지금 당장, then it even further emphasizes that you're talking about right now, in this moment, because this word has more emphasis than just saying 지금. This word is often used in commands. Do it now! Do it right now! Everybody subscribe to Go Billy Korean. You'll learn lots and lots of Korean. So, we learned 바로 already. It means right away or immediately or at once. And you can also use 바로 when you're giving commands. Well, the difference is that 바로, while it does mean right away, it's used for something that's happening in sequence, something that's happening immediately after something else. Like you do something and then 바로, right away, you do this, or immediately you do this after something else. So think of 바로 as right after something else happens. So that's the difference. 당장, right now. 전화하세요. 당장 전화하세요. So call right now. Now. Next, we have two words, 가끔 or 가끔씩. These both mean sometimes. Adding 씩 simply adds more emphasis that it's only sometimes. So 가끔 is sometimes, 가끔씩 is sometimes. As in, sometimes, but not often, but sometimes. 나는 가끔 눈물을 흘린다. So I sometimes, 가끔, 눈물 흘리다, to cry. So I sometimes cry. 나는 가끔 눈물을 흘린다. Let's take a quick break. Stretch, stand up. Okay, it's over. Next one we're going to do is 종종. This one is less frequent than saying sometimes. This one is every now and then, once in a while, 종종. 종종, every now and then. Or once in a while, 생각이 나요. I think about it. 생각이 나다 is a thought comes to you. So you think about something. Not that you're thinking about doing something, you're considering something, and not you're thinking an opinion, but you're simply thinking because the thought came to you. Then you use 생각나다. 종종 생각이 나요. So every once in a while, the thought comes to me. Every once in a while, I think about it. Not every once in a while, I consider if I should do that, or every once in a while, I think my opinion. You're saying the thought comes to me. The next one we have is 때때로. I put this in parentheses though, because you can say 때로, and it has the same meaning. 때때로 is just a little bit more emphatic, and 때 literally means time. So this is how you say sometimes, as in from time to time. And how is this different from just saying 가끔 or even 종종? Well, this one means sometimes, but depending on the time. As in, depending on the situation. So, depending on the situation, like that. 사탕도. So 사탕 would just be like candy, as in like sugar candy. 때때로, sometimes, depending on the situation. 약, medicine. 이 되다, to become, to be. Sometimes, depending on the situation, even candy can be medicine. 사탕도 때때로 약이 됩니다. Our last word is 즉시, which means promptly, or instantly, or at once. This literally means 즉시. From 한자, it means right at the time when. So promptly, right away, at once, instantly. This word is only used in more formal situations. News articles and advertising are really the only places you're going to see this used. It's a formal sounding word. It's not going to be used with your friends. Also, but there's another one with the same meaning. 즉각. 즉각. 즉각 has the same meaning as 즉시. However, 즉각 is even less common and even more formal sounding. 화재 means a fire. 발견하다, to discover. If you discover a fire, so if you find a fire, 즉시, immediately, at once, promptly. 119로, so 119, that's Korea's 911. 신고하다, to report. So report it to 911 promptly, right away, at once. So if you find a fire, report it through 119 at once. 화재를 발견하면 즉시 119로 신고하세요. That is all of our sentences today. Thank you everyone for coming, and I will see you again next time. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.